What's up, everybody? Matt Gajeski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. And today we're talking college basketball bets ahead of Friday, the second day of the Sweet 16. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. If you're listening on podcast, please leave a rating and review over there as well. We are brought to you guys by Bet365. And as you can see on the screen, they have a phenomenal deal for you guys. When you make your first deposit, you can make a wager of $1 and automatically get $365 in the form of free bets. So make this easy on yourself. Go over to Bet365, deposit, make that $1 bet, do it on something easy like a Creighton money line. They're 10-point favorites over Princeton. They're around minus 500 on the money line. Secure your $365 in free bets. You can take advantage of that by clicking the link in the video description below. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. The legal age for gambling in most states is 21. All right, we are recording this early on Thursday morning, so the Thursday games haven't even tipped off yet. Couldn't tell you what the outcome was of those games, so we'll skip the recap for now, probably touch on that before the Elite Eight games. But we've got an absolute banger of a slate on Friday night, starting with San Diego State taking on Alabama. And the spread here is flirting between 7 and 8, really across the board. Seen a lot of people on San Diego State for reasons unknown to me. When I look at this team overall in San Diego State, I can't see why they're taking money outside of Brandon Miller being injured. Coaching staff came out this week, talked about the injury, said he wasn't going to practice to start the week in hopes of getting him 100%. Seems pretty cloudy, but then I look back at the box scores and see Brandon Miller scored 19 points in 35 minutes. No, it wasn't his most efficient outing, but he's playing through the injury, and he's playing every single minute through the injury. I'm not worried about his status here, and honestly, I don't even know if the efficiency matters that much. San Diego State plays slow, and they cannot score whatsoever. And on defense, they're good on defense, 15th overall, but you can look at their interior defense versus three-point defense. This team is still 156th in interior defense. How are they going to stop Clowney, Gurley, Bediako? How are they going to stop the guards from driving? They have Aguepa Rop inside, who's really their rim protector, but he only plays 20 minutes a game, as does every single player on San Diego State. They also had perhaps the easiest draw to get here, Charleston, and then they had a Furman in the second round, who's just a complete lame duck of a second-round opponent. I don't see this at all. There's a drastic height advantage for Bama. They're 11th. San Diego State is 153rd. Now, San Diego State's been pretty good at rebounding. They're 27th, but Bama's 10th. This team is going to demolish them on the glass. Turnovers, it's about even for these teams. Fouls, it's about even for these teams. Depth certainly favors Bama, even with San Diego State's 9-man rotation. You actually have good players on the Bama side. So this is one I don't understand. I definitely do not agree with the market. I honestly think San Diego State probably doesn't cover the spread even if Brandon Miller sits. So we'll be back in Alabama here. This is one that's just a little baffling to me, even though I tend to find myself against the market on this one. Alabama just has beat much better teams by wider margins than San Diego State, who plays in a weak conference. I mean, give me a break with the Mountain West here. 7 points against Bama. Next game, Houston takes on Miami. This one flirting between 6.5 and 7.5 throughout the week. Right now, it seems to have settled on 7 or a juiced 7. You might be able to find a Miami plus 7.5 in the market. That's the number I like the most in this game. I'll be honest, it's not my favorite game to bet. The total is 138, so perhaps you could look at an under here. Didn't mention the total in the Bama game. I like the over there based on the pace that Bama's going to run at. In this game, the under makes a little more sense, even though you've got 2 elite offenses, 1 elite defense and 1 suspect defense. But I still think if I'm making a play in this game, it's Miami plus 7.5. Overall, this Miami team can score with the best of them. No, they're not going to defend, and Houston's certainly going to score themselves. But Miami does have advantages. When you look at the Houston defense, they're a team that is awesome at defending both areas of the court, interior and from 3, but Miami can also score from both areas, especially with Norchad Omier coming back and playing over 20 minutes. Another week off, I expect him to be healthy here. This Miami team is 36th at scoring inside, 39th in three-point percentage. They have shooters to score everywhere, which could be a problem for a slow Houston team and a Houston team that's not very deep. Sasser still has the injury concern. He came out and played 30-plus minutes. So it looks like he's mostly good to go. A lot of the noise around Sasser appeared to be precautionary, but you never know with aggravation here. And interestingly enough, Miami has the effective field goal percentage edge. They're 23rd, Houston 71st. Neither of these teams are particularly tall. Miami 274, Houston 248. Houston is 5th in rebounding. Miami's 59th. So both these teams are really good at rebounding despite their size. Free throw percentage certainly favors Miami. And if this game comes down to fouls, I would favor the Hurricanes. Ultimately, neither team turns the ball over. So, Houston, they've been good at forcing turnovers all year. Miami is solid ball handlers. They're not going to be in trouble there. Miami also doesn't commit fouls. That's another feather in their cap. Another way Houston has won games this year is foul generation. They are not going to be able to do that against Miami, who's 10th in the country in fouls committed. This is one of the best teams in terms of keeping their starting players on the floor. I don't think Miami wins this game. Again, their defense is putrid. We didn't talk about their defense much, but they're 246th on the interior, 133rd from three. But 7.5 points is quite a bit here for a Miami team that can shoot everywhere and take advantage of any cracks that Houston might give them. So we'll take the Hurricanes, not a preferred play, but one I think we can play nonetheless. The toughest game to bet, in my opinion, of the entire Sweet 16 is this Princeton-Creighton game. I think the line is about as efficient as it could be. Creighton has a 10-point favorite, the total hovering around 139, 140. I think the most interesting play is looking at an over if you can get a 139 on the market right now. Both of these teams are pretty efficient on offense, 64th and 32nd, Creighton 32 overall. And their defenses are 77 and 71, Creighton having the slight edge there. But overall, there is a height advantage Creighton's direction, even though these teams are both pretty good at rebounding. Creighton's 20th, Princeton 234th, really just flowing through Tosan on the interior, holding that rebound advantage. But again, you have a drastic level of competition and a difference here, which explains the spread in favor of Creighton, even though the efficiency numbers actually not that wide here. But ultimately, Creighton's going to be able to score, and they're going to be able to score anywhere they want, especially from three. You have a Princeton defense ranked just inside the top 100 here. Creighton 45th in three-point attempts per game, 86th in three-point percentage. They're going to score there. On the interior, you have Kalkbrenner, you have Kaluma. It's not just Tosan. I mean, you can basically create mismatches having them both on the floor at the same time. Tosan cannot guard them both. And then on the other side, Princeton's been pretty good on offense. Tosan, one of the most efficient players, especially in that conference. But this Princeton team has a couple three-point shooters as well, like Landborg, who shoots around 40% from three. They could potentially take advantage of a Creighton defense that ranks 142nd in three-point percentage allowed. On the other end, neither of the team commits turnovers, neither team forces turnovers, so pace should be fine. Both teams above average in that regard. And fouls, neither team really get into much foul trouble. It's tough. From a handicapping perspective, it's the over or pass for me, and probably one I'll pass on. If you want to play like a Creighton money line, add it to a parlay or something like that, I think that could make some sense. But this is a really tricky game overall. And our final contest, Xavier, Texas. Nice little nightcap here. This one I like the over end. 148 if you can find it. 148 I think is completely fine. Both of these teams play fast basketball. The NCAA average for possessions per game is around 70. Xavier way above that, 73.7. Texas way above that at 72.1. This game's going to have a fast pace. Xavier is elite on offense and horrific on defense. This team is a complete sieve on defense, and Texas should be able to score across the board. Texas, not the best three-point shooting team, but Xavier's 270th in three-point defense. Regardless, Texas 38th on the interior two-point percentage. Xavier right inside the top 100 there, so this Texas team should score. And we've seen Xavier score with the best of them here. So not real worried about this on the other end, especially because there is a matchup that Xavier can exploit. Texas, 80th in three-point defense. Not good, not great. Xavier's third in the country in three-point percentage. This team can shoot. They have Nunji on the interior to neutralize whatever big Texas decides to play on this given day. And Xavier also has a height advantage, 30th, Texas 278th. I kind of use that in quotes because Texas does have bigs. They just don't play them full allotment of minutes. And, this rebounding advantage that Xavier has, 16th to 190th. If Texas were to ever give Dylan Dessou full minutes like they did when Timmy Allen was hurt, this rebounding edge would probably be cut in half, if not more. Dylan Dessou at one point in time led the SEC in rebounding. He just gets 20 minutes a game for Texas. I don't know why. They are deep, but I think he deserves a little more than that. Regardless, hope this points to potential over for you guys. Again, two teams playing real fast. Both teams top 40 in offense. Xavier right around the top 15. And then that Xavier defense playing horrific basketball despite the pace. This one sets up for an over. Let me know what you guys think of these plays. If you're with me or against me, I imagine I'm going to have the San Diego State mob in the comment section. But bring it all on all comers here. If you've got a great point on San Diego State, convince me. Tell me I'm wrong. I'd love to hear it. You can also do that on Twitter. I'm at Matt_Kajeski. Until next time, which will be tomorrow. We'll see you guys then, and good luck.